What if everything you were taught about hard work is completely wrong? Not slightly off, not a little outdated, wrong. Most people believe that the harder you grind, the more you earn. More hours equal more success. Hustle until you drop. Sleep when you're dead. You've heard it all before. But here's what nobody tells you. Working harder is not the same as working smarter. And for most people, the way they're working right now is actively destroying their chances of ever building the life they actually want. I'm Jack, and today I'm going to show you exactly why you are working the wrong way, and more importantly, how to fix it. Let me paint you a picture. It's 11 p.m. You've been at your desk for 14 hours. You're exhausted, your eyes are burning, and somehow your to-do list is longer than it was this morning. You keep telling yourself that this is just temporary, that once you push through this season, things will slow down, that the hustle is paying off. But months go by, then years, and nothing changes. Sound familiar? Here's the uncomfortable truth. You are not failing because you are lazy. You are failing because nobody taught you how to work correctly. The people who are winning, the ones building businesses that generate real money while actually enjoying their lives, they are not working more than you. In most cases, they are working significantly less. What they've done is figure out a fundamentally different approach to how they spend their time. That is what this video is about. By the end of it, you will understand exactly what you're doing wrong, why it's costing you both money and freedom, and the specific framework you need to change it. Let's get into it. We need to start at the root of the problem, the story you've been sold about what success looks like. Somewhere along the way, our culture decided that exhaustion was a badge of honor, that if you weren't grinding 16 hours a day, you weren't serious. Social media made it worse. You see highlight reels of entrepreneurs posting from their offices at 2 a.m. like it's something to be proud of. But let me ask you a real question. If working more hours was truly the key to success, then the hardest working people in the world should be the richest. Manual laborers, factory workers, people pulling double shifts. They should be millionaires. They're not. And that tells you everything. The number of hours you work is not correlated with your output. What matters is the quality of the work you do during those hours, and whether that work actually moves the needle. Most people spend the majority of their day doing what I call shallow work, responding to emails, sitting in meetings that could have been a message, doing administrative tasks, putting out fires, looking busy without actually building anything. This is the trap, and if you don't recognize it, you will spend the next 10 years being incredibly busy and wondering why nothing is growing. The shift you need to make is moving from measuring your success by how many hours you put in to measuring it by the quality and leverage of the work you actually do. So what does high-quality work actually look like? It starts with something called deep work. Here is a principle that changed everything for me. 1 hour of real, focused, distraction-free deep work is worth more than 8 hours of the scattered, interrupted, shallow work most people do every single day. Read that again. 1 hour beats 8 hours if that 1 hour is the right kind. Deep work is when you sit down with your full cognitive capacity aimed at a single important task. No phone, no notifications, no background noise of Slack messages pinging every 3 minutes. Just you, your best thinking, and the work that actually matters. Here's what a deep work session looks like in practice. The night before, you decide exactly what you need to accomplish the next morning. You are not waking up and figuring it out. That decision is already made. Then first thing in the morning, before you check your phone, before you open your email, before the world gets its hands on your attention, you sit down and you work. Why first thing in the morning? Because neuroscience backs this up. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for complex thinking, creativity, and problem solving, is at its absolute peak performance in the first few hours after you wake up. Your willpower reserves are full. Your mind hasn't been pulled in 17 directions yet. This is your most valuable time of day, and most people are spending it scrolling through their phones. The goal isn't to work for 10 hours. The goal is to get 4 hours of real, focused, high-quality, deep work done every single day, and then protect the rest of your time aggressively. 4 focused hours will consistently outperform 10 distracted ones. That is not an opinion. That is just how human cognition works. Now, deep work solves the how of working better, but there's an equally important question that most people never seriously ask. What should you actually be working on? This is where the second major mistake comes in. Most founders, most professionals, most ambitious people are spending enormous amounts of time doing work that someone else could be doing for a fraction of your hourly rate. Think about your last week. Write it down if you need to. Every task you touched, what did it actually cost you to do it yourself? There's a simple but powerful exercise here. Pick an ambitious number as your target hourly rate, not what you make right now, what you want to be making. Let's say $1,000 an hour. That's your benchmark. Now look at everything on your task list. Is this task worth $1,000 an hour? Is this task worth $1,000 an hour? Scheduling a meeting? Probably not. Replying to a routine email? Almost certainly not. Posting to social media? Depends, but likely no. Doing your own bookkeeping? Absolutely not. The tasks that genuinely require your highest level thinking, your unique skills, your creative vision, those are what deserve your time. Everything else needs to be automated, eliminated, or delegated. This is a framework I call AED, and it is one of the most practical tools you can apply starting today. Step 1, write down every task you've worked on over the last several weeks, every single one. Step 2, mark whether each task gives you energy or drains it. This matters more than most people realize because the things that drain you are costing you more than just time. Step 3, for each task, ask yourself, can this be automated, eliminated, or delegated? If it can be eliminated, stop doing it immediately, not eventually, now. You would be shocked how many tasks you are doing out of habit that produce no real result. If it can be delegated, create a simple video of yourself doing it, write out the steps, and hand it off to the right person. If it can be automated, find the tool that handles it and set it up once. This framework, when applied seriously, has the potential to give you back 10, 15, even 20 or more hours per week. Hours you can redirect towards the work that actually builds your business and your income. Here is where we move from working smarter to building something that actually compounds over time. Most people approach their work linearly. Do a task, get a result, move on to the next task. It's transactional, it's exhausting, and it has a ceiling. The people who break through that ceiling think completely differently. They build systems where every action feeds the next one, where effort compounds instead of disappearing. Think of a flywheel, a heavy rotating wheel that stores energy. At first, getting it spinning takes real effort, but as it builds momentum, each push requires less force. Eventually, the wheel is almost self-sustaining. Your input stays the same or decreases, but the output keeps growing. This is how you want to structure your business and your personal brand. Here's an example of how this works in practice. You share your genuine expertise and perspective publicly, on social media, through writing, through a newsletter. That content attracts an audience of people who resonate with what you stand for. That audience generates leads for your products or services. Those customers get results and tell other people. Those referrals bring in new customers. And now your audience grows even faster because you have real proof and real stories to share. Each part of the system feeds the next. And over time, the whole thing accelerates without requiring proportionally more effort from you. Building this kind of flywheel starts with one decision. Stop keeping your expertise private. Most people who are genuinely skilled at something never share it publicly. They do great work behind closed doors and wonder why opportunities aren't finding them. Your personal brand, your public voice, is what turns your expertise into a magnet for the right people and opportunities. Writing is the most powerful tool for this. Written content lives on the internet forever. A single piece of writing can bring in leads months or years after you posted it. Writing clarifies your thinking. Writing builds trust. Writing is how you scale your ideas beyond the people you can physically talk to. If you are not writing and sharing your knowledge publicly in some form, you are leaving enormous leverage on the table. Now, let's talk about something that most people aren't doing, and it might be the single highest leverage move available to any growing founder or professional. As you build and grow, there are tasks that fall through the cracks constantly. Random requests that come in, calendar management, communications that need handling, logistics, follow-ups, research, the 100 small things that collectively eat hours of your week. These tasks are not high value, but if you handle them yourself, they crowd out the work that is. And if you ignore them, things break. The solution is a chief of staff. A chief of staff's job is to protect your time and manage the operational noise so that your brain stays free for the work only you can do. They handle communications. They manage your calendar. They are the first line of defense against anything that will interrupt your deep work or pull you into reactive mode. The best CEOs in the world, people running billion-dollar companies, almost universally have someone in this role. It's not a luxury for when you're large enough. It's a strategic decision that helps you get large enough. When hiring for this role, look for someone who is exceptionally organized, a strong communicator, and who has real business understanding. Then, and this is the part that makes or breaks it, give them full confidence context into everything: your calendar, your inbox, your priorities, your systems. The more context they have, the more independently they can operate. The more independently they operate, the more your time opens up. A daily 15-minute check-in is all it takes to keep this person fully aligned and gradually taking more off your plate. This one hire, done correctly, can return more time and mental clarity to you than almost any other investment you can make. I want to take a moment and be real with you about what staying in the wrong pattern actually costs. It's not just money, though you are almost certainly leaving a significant amount on the table. The real cost is harder to quantify. It's the relationships you're neglecting because you're always working. It's the health that slowly erodes because you have no time to exercise and every meal is grabbed on the run. It's the creative energy that gets burnt up on low-value tasks, so there's nothing left when you sit down for the work that matters. It's the slow, grinding exhaustion that makes you wonder if this is even worth it. Working the wrong way isn't just inefficient, it's unsustainable. And for most people, it ends one of two ways: burnout or giving up on the bigger vision entirely. You did not get into this to work yourself into the ground. You got into this for freedom, for impact, for the life that's possible on the other side of building something real. The 4 pillars we've covered today: deep work, the AED system, the founder flywheel, and the chief of staff are not motivational concepts. They are operational tools. Each one, applied with consistency, directly reduces the hours you need to work while increasing what you produce in those hours. The goal isn't to work less because you're lazy. The goal is to work less because you've built something smart enough, leveraged enough, and systematized enough that it doesn't require your constant presence to function. That is true freedom. Not just financial, though that comes with it, but the freedom of time, attention, and energy to build the life you actually want. You're not working hard enough. You are working the wrong way, and now you know how to fix it. If this gave you value, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and I'll see you in the next one.